Welcome to another Top 5 with Kris 05, guys. Today we're gonna be talking about the best decks in Hearthstone before the new patch comes through. We actually did also just have a new patch come through, which definitely changes a few of the best decks, so in this video I'm gonna show you what the best decks to be playing right now for Easy Legend are gonna be, so you have a better idea of what you should be using, as well as what you should be expecting against you. But I'm also gonna check out all of the other working archetypes for each individual class, so stick around to the end. If you find what I'm doing helpful, it would be awesome if you drop a like and subscribe to the channel, and I will keep on providing you with top quality, timely Meta Report updates. And don't forget you can check me out live on stream each Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, except this Saturday. I'm gonna do a quick little vacation, but yeah, I'm gonna be coming back strong on Tuesday when we're also expecting the new patch to be coming through. Now, let's get into the top 5 decks.
You are not prepared!
Right, so here's the quick little patch they snuck in. Also, I'm not sure why this thing says it's 3 days old. And the patch indeed rolled out yesterday, right after I showed you that illegal shaman video. And here's what's happening here. Slackclaw is no longer going to be banned, since its kindred effect is not going to be triggering twice, so you can slap that bad boy back in, and maybe the deck is still actually decent. Another important thing would be Muggsy no longer is going to be doing the Z hero power if you have yourself a quest in it. And also, a very important thing for the meta, Lotus Troublemaker as well as Jade Guardians no longer count cards played using health instead of mana, so Warlock no longer is going to be a great inclusion. The rest of the stuff is not as important, but you can still read it here if you still wanted to. But now let's go to the top 5 decks. And the first deck on the list is still going to be Mug Shaman. Mug Shaman is an absolute powerhouse of a deck right now, and this is the version with a couple of hexes instead of lightning storms. That was obviously a tech card choice, so depending on your meta, you might want to swap back, get yourself at least one lightning storm or two, or just stick with the 2 hexes. Currently, this is the best one from Diamond 5 to Legend, supposedly. The rest of the deck is basically same old stuff, and the reason why this deck is so strong is you get to be cheating out literal free drops as soon as turn 1 thanks to Blazing Invocation, and getting yourself something like a 5 attack minion on turn 1 has proven to be hella strong. You also have other ways of discovering yourself some busted stuff thanks to things like Mountain Map. From Sands of Time you could be discovering all sorts of different things, and so on and so forth. And let's not forget your minions / spells that turn into minions with things like Molten Gold, Frost Shatter, as well as Storm Fury, all costing -2 when turned into minions after 3 spell casts. It really can be pretty overwhelming. This deck definitely is in danger of a nerf. We still don't know exactly how, but surely something is gonna be getting changed about it, so be on the lookout for that. But until then, it's definitely probably your best deck to be playing for Easy Legend. Matchup wise, here's what we have right now. This particular version doesn't have that much stats in it, but as you see, everything is positive. Let's swap over to a much more populated deck. This one, for instance, has a very good win rate, very good sample size, just a single card difference, so why wouldn't we? And here's what it looks like over here. Again, pretty much everything is positive, except for Tripwire being barely on the 50-50 side. On the mulligan phase, you are always going to be looking for Blazing Invocation first and second, and also when going first, low security is going to be great. The Mountain Map, Ritual of Power makes sense. Molten Gold is a great spell to be holding on to because it's going to be a 1-mana free that deals 4 damage. Sands of Time could be worth it, especially if you have spell minions. The Frost Shatter, also again pretty good, and Static Shock, again if you have things you want to be casting spells for. Going second, again, the first 3 remain the same. Honestly, the rest of them also remain pretty similar, so mulligan accordingly. For other good shaman decks, this is the one I'm showing you. Over 1,000 games, over 60% win rate, definitely pretty sick. We can also see all sorts of other iterations of the deck with similar results. And like I said, the quest Z Shaman is no longer going to be working, but Z Shaman with Slackclaw now is going to be decent. Here's a variant with a lot of Herald action actually, so it's actually looking decent. The sample size is not that big for it yet, but it definitely looks promising, so you might want to give something like this a check. And it does look pretty close to the deck I actually hit Legend with this month, like on day 1 when the new expansion came through, so yeah, might want to check it out. Other than that, you can see all sorts of other Mug Shamans out there. Here's the banned Quest Shaman, which was actually abusing Vanessa, which now that I think about it made a lot of sense, but it is what it is. Here's another Z Shaman list that's actually usable right now, and so on and so forth. Really, just iterations of these. Not much else is really happening right now. Herald Shaman straight out does not look great right now though. And spot number 2, of course, is gonna go down to the other big winner of the new expansion, which would be Dragon Warrior, with the help of the new Warptooth plus Hogger combo. Dragon Warrior has been a super solid deck for quite a while now, and the new Warptooth that comes down literally possibly as soon as turn 2 or 3 for you for free is absolutely insane, buys you so much extra tempo, and for the sake of it, we also have a couple of Mother Ducks, which are gonna help you fish out the Warp Tooth a lot sooner, preferably from your deck. And yeah, this deck is really strong right now. Not very hard to play with. As long as you're smart enough not to be trading too much with a deck like this, you should be having no problem climbing to Easy Legend, and dare I say, on a budget. Nowadays it is a little bit more expensive, like it used to be just commons and rares, but now we do have Warp Tooth and Chainbreaker Hogger, both of which are no-brainer crafts, by the way. Like, Warp Tooth is so strong that he's either an auto craft or an auto nerf really soon, so you should be getting your dust back, but Hogger, you might actually sink your dust into it. To be fair, right now Hogger does fit into basically any warrior archetype, so kind of a safe craft if you're enjoying the class. An interesting inclusion in this deck that we don't see too often would be a single copy of Living Flame. We also have a couple of Petal Peddlers, but the rest of the deck is definitely same old stuff. Single copy of Stadium Announcer, double Mother Duck for the Warp Tooth, that kind of stuff. For the matchups, we can see that Quest Priest is not going to be your friend, and Mug Shaman is actually going to be a 50-50, so not the best thing to be 50-50 at, but still, at least you're not super unfavored against it either. And when it comes down to the mulligan, going first, you are going to be looking for your 1-drops, the Brood Keeper, the Petal Peddler. Curving into the Slither Drake can be great. Curving into Darkscale Broodmother can also be amazing. Turn 2 Living Flame ain't the worst. Holding on to Mother Duck if you have a curve for it can also be great. The rest probably not so much though. And as for going second, again, it kind of remains the same, so there's that. In the deck after it, I'm actually kind of surprised, but the Logash Warrior is also right after it. They call it Control Warrior for reasons unknown to me. It definitely doesn't feel like a Control Warrior, more like a mid-range warrior or something like that. But yes, we do have the Logash Bloodfighter Warrior feeling really strong. Again, thanks to Chainbreaker Hogger, you get yourself quite a lot of extra Bloodfighters. You get yourself double Warp Tooth, double Xavius, which could be pretty amazing, especially if you get some pretty sick Dark Gift on your Bloodfighters. And of course we do have Warp Tooth. With Mother Deck you get to cheat him out a lot sooner, but you can also do it with other means. Let's say if you manage to stick a couple of Acolytes, damage your face, and there's your Warp Tooth as well. I will be giving you an updated guide about this deck really soon, so be on the lookout for that one. But yeah, it's actually a pretty disgusting deck. You do have quite a lot of removal early game, and around turn 6, turn 7, you start bombarding the opponent with an endless barrage of Bloodfighters one after the other, and that can be pretty sick. Matchup wise, here's what we have right now. Face Hunter might be a problem, but everything else looks pretty decent, so there's that. When going first, you are going to be looking for a little bit of card draw with things like Acolyte of Pain. The Mother Duck is great, Suffusion is okay, Shield Block, the Axe can be pretty good, curving into Xavius can make a lot of sense. Depending on the opponent, you could consider things like Eternal Toil, Slam, the Volcano could be nice, Searing Fissures also might make sense, but it really does come down to the matchup. Going second, again, much of the same stuff. For other good warrior decks, first let's see which we're talking about, and this is the list I'm showing you for Dragon Warrior. Even though we have a slightly higher win rate with half the sample size, still both are definitely pretty decent options, as well as many others, like so many different iterations of Dragon Warrior right now. And here's the Control Warrior we're talking about, which is just a Logash Warrior really. Very impressive 1500 games with almost 59% win rate, definitely pretty sick. And we do have several different iterations of this deck going lower as well, like here's another one with a couple of eggs, so you have a easier time maybe getting yourself some Warp Teeth with a couple of city defenses, that kind of stuff. Scrolling down further, another version of Control Warrior, and so on and so forth. Herald Warrior so far really doesn't seem that strong, and Egg Warrior, not top tier, but definitely pretty usable, especially if you know how to play it. Spot number 4 goes down to Aura Paladin, and this is a different new iteration of the list with a couple of new cards included. We no longer run Beatrix in here, but instead only have a couple of Scarlet Bruisers, and we also have a couple of Vigilant Sentries. And this does make the deck curve out a lot more consistently, because with Beatrix, even though you're getting yourself plenty of extra value out of the Scarlets, it also dilutes the deck with 10 extra cards, which definitely makes it a lot harder to actually go for your main game plan, which would be things like Nosdormus, the Gelben, the flight maneuvers, that kind of stuff. So yeah, right now this Paladin list actually looks like the best performer according to the stats. Not much else is really changing in here. It's your good old end turn Aura Paladin type of list with a little bit of aggression with things like flight maneuvers. So I'll probably be giving you an updated guide about this one later, but until then, let's see what the matchups are looking like. Not super populated stats just yet. You're not going to be great against Dragon Warrior and Mug Shaman, which definitely doesn't sound great in a meta like this, but you're still going to have close to 58% win rate, so there's that too. When you're going first with a deck like this, you are going to be looking for your Violet Treasure Guild, of course. The Righteous Protector is your only 1-drop, so might as well look for it as well. The Vigilant Sentry when curved into is absolutely great, but even if you're not curving into it, why wouldn't you keep a frickin' 6/9 on turn 2 or 3? In this case 3, because we are going first. Flight Maneuvers is still a no-brainer, and if you have Flight Maneuvers already, definitely hold on to some cheap stuff in between them. Couple of Scarlet Bruisers are here, as well as a good keep. Acceleration Aura can be great if you don't have the Treasure Guild already. The rest I wouldn't really hold on to, even though curving into an Asdormu or curving into a Manifested Timeways if you already have Violet Treasure Guild, depending on the matchup, might be huge. Going second, again, Treasure Guild and Vigilant absolutely great. Righteous Protector is still okay, but here you could be coining out on turn 1, so who needs it 1-drop anyway? Scarlet Bruiser is still fine, the Flight Maneuvers as well, the Aura, that kind of stuff, you still would be very happy curving into an Asdormu. For other good Paladin decks, this is the one I'm showing you, slightly lower sample size than I would be comfortable with showing you, but 59% win rate definitely ain't no joke. We can also see things like Beatrix Paladin still being hella strong, with and without the Gelbin package. Scrolling down further, however, we can see Paladin is not looking as busted as we thought it would. The Maiev Paladin is actually dropping a lot in win rate. This deck was like 57% win rate a couple of days ago. So yeah, right now Paladin has seen better days, but you definitely still have some pretty powerful options for it. And the last deck on the list is, of course, going to be Face Hunter, and honestly, I could have showed you the Face Hunter with the Ring of the Underbelly situation with the Briarspawn Drake. Like, look at this, 57% win rate, 2700 games, but as you guys see, Face Hunter definitely is having much bigger sample size, bigger win rate as well, so I think I would be doing a disservice if I play favorites here, even though I do believe this deck is more fun and strong. Definitely doesn't look like that according to the stats, so there is that. We are going to be talking about straight out Face Hunter with the Tripwire package. And here it is, not too much has changed since the last video about it. You are running yourself the good Face Hunter action in here with things like Railer, with Sizzling Cinder, but of course we also have the Tripwire package with a couple of shovels, a couple of Arcane Tripwires, as well as Beast Tripwires, and of course the Underbelly network, which definitely helps you big time with the card draw so you can get those Tripwires faster. We also have a couple of Tame Pets in here, a single copy of Urban War, and also the weapons, all of which would be great repeated from your Confront the Tolvir, which is still an absolutely broken card, but you no longer look for this thing in your mulligan, you look for it around turn 5 or 6, and you should be having a good time finding it with all of the card draw you have already. So yeah, all around, shouldn't be worried for it too early. You can check out my detailed guide about this and the version with the Underbelly, both are doing pretty strong right now, and you can't go wrong if you're trying to hit easy legend with those. For the matchups, here's what we have. Mug Shaman, not the best for you, as well as Dragon Warrior, so again, kind of surprising you have such a big win rate with a deck that's actually bad against a couple of the most important matchups, and Egg Warrior also not going to be that great for you, but everything else pretty good, including Troublemaker Rogue, which is another very popular matchup right now, especially in higher legend. As for the mulligan, here's what we have going first. You are going to be looking for the Kelderay Fletcher, of course, the Sizzling Cinder, Underbelly network ain't bad, Reinforcement Trailer, the Smuggled Shovel can be nice, and curving into a Tripwire, be it Arcane or Beast, could make some sense, but don't get baited into looking for card draw on turn 1. You're trying to build tempo with this one. Going second, again, the situation is similar. Try to get the good 1-drop minions, the Underbelly location, the Tripwire stuff, and you could also consider some of the Sylvanas. If you think that the Ranger General Sylvanas is going to be important, maybe start off with a Varisa so you can get yourself 4 damage out of her. Let's move back to the best Hunter decks again, and you already saw that Face Hunter is sitting at 57.3 with basically above 5,000 gains if we combine these two lists, but also the other Underbelly Tripwire Hunter is doing pretty good. Scrolling down further, we can't really see much other options for the Hunter class right now, and surprisingly, Companion Hunter is really not having a great time right now. Yes, the meta definitely got a little bit faster, and the deck is not doing all that well in that type of meta, but maybe after patch, things are gonna go a little bit better for it. Moving down to the classes we haven't mentioned, starting off with Death Knight. Corpse Death Knight is actually, again, looking surprisingly strong. From Diamond 5 to Legend at least, I'm not sure you're gonna do too well with it in Top Legend, even though I have faced this deck there, and sometimes they can really curve out strong. And this is the triple Unholy variant, which is interesting. Other than that, everything else looks pretty garbage right now, so it's waiting for a buff, I guess. Same can be said for Demon Hunter. Right now, the class is really struggling, which is insane. Like, last expansion it was top tier, now it's top shit. As for Druid, Mirifra Druid would be your best bet so far. Chef Druid, not really looking that strong. I tried playing this deck, but it's simply just not working much. And when it does, it feels like you just scammed your way out of a win. It just a super high rolly pile of cards is what it is, so I wouldn't really recommend it. As for Mage, right now, I told you on the last top 5 that Burn Mage is probably gonna show up really soon, and it did. Quest Mage is something you can be seeing in top Legends still. Leyline Mage and Milkhouse Mage still absolutely god-awful. Moving down to Priest, Quest Priest actually surprised me pretty well, and you are gonna get a detailed guide about it from me really soon. And also the Control Priest is doing quite fine, especially in skilled hands. According to the stats, it's not looking that strong, but people are actually playing quite a lot of it. I've heard a lot of people complaining that they're facing a lot more Priest than they should. The stats really don't support that, like we're not seeing anything in the 10,000s of games or anything like that, but that does not nullify what people are experiencing themselves. And as for Rogue, honestly, Troublemaker Rogue definitely deserves to be in this top 5, but since we're talking about Diamond 5 to Legend type of stuff, I'm not sure I should be showing this deck into the top 5, because the deck really does have a high skill cap, even though personally I do believe it's way too overtuned and pretty easy to actually get a lot of wins with, but it's not the easiest concept to grasp for most people. We are expecting Vanessa to be getting nerfed, so keep that in mind. Troublemaker is also in the crosshairs. Heck, even Jade Guardians could be a problematic card if you ask me. I'm pretty sure Vanessa is gonna get slapped, but maybe even one of these two also to really tone it down, especially for top Legend, where this deck is literally 60% of your matchups. Like, you can see mostly Rogues and Shamans in top Legend, which definitely gets pretty old pretty fast. I already talked about the patch that came through yesterday, and no longer are you gonna be getting benefits from playing the Murloc for health, so you don't really want to be playing that list anymore, so you can just skip to the more traditional Troublemaker Rogues with or without Imbue stuff. Can't go wrong with those. Definitely very many options to be going through though. Like, look at how many different lists we're having. Most of them are just iterations, but definitely could be doing pretty well with the class right now. And what you can't be doing pretty well with the class right now would be Warlock, which basically is having a pretty hard time right now. This Egg Warlock is kind of an outlier. I guess somebody had a pretty good run with it, but for the masses, the class is really not doing all that much. Rafam Warlock apparently is barely playable above 50%, nothing too crazy. It's a very high rolly deck, but for the most part, it really is not a great one to be climbing with. So that's about it for this top 5, guys. I hope this helps you figure out what you want to be climbing with until the new patch comes through on Tuesday, most probably. Do let me know in the comments what's your favorite deck right now, and I might give you an updated guide about it soon. And don't forget to check me out live on stream each Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. Thanks for watching, guys. I'm Kris05, and I'll see you in my next video or stream.